How do you figure out on a date if a man has potential to be a good fit for you or not? Now, the worst thing you can do on a first date is grill a guy with questions that make it very obvious you're trying to interview him for the position of future husband. The key is actually strategic follow-up questions to the normal first date questions that will reveal the things you need to know. In this video, I'm going to share with you my top 3 first date questions to ask to tell if he's a match. And stay tuned until the end to get my guaranteed way to get a date this week. I'm Nicole Moore, love coach and founder of LoveWorks, and I've helped more women than I can count go from never able to get past a first date to many dates and even down the aisle. Here's the number 1 question you want to ask on a first date. So every person asks on a date, what do you do for a living? And you're going to ask that too. But that's not the important question. The key is the follow-up question to get info on this man. And the question is, do you love it? So if you ask after you say, what do you do for a living? He tells you, do you love it? You'll quickly figure out a lot about this man, his attitude to life, and if he's mission driven or not. And you do want a mission driven man, because those kind of men, they've usually conquered a lot. They're ready for their queen. So when you ask, do you love it? You're going to find out where he's at. Is he on mission and passionate? You're going to see him. If he is, he's going to light up as he tells you why he loves his job. Or is he more complacent and directionless? He may just go, it's whatever, or give a blah answer to do you love it? So if he does that, he's likely not at the point yet where he's figured out who he is and what he's meant to do. He may even lack ambition. But here's a bonus question you can always follow up with if you're questioning whether he has passion, mission, and drive or not. It's, if you could do anything for work, what would you do? So this question will tell you if he's dreaming of more, if he's ambitious, if he has a plan to make it happen. Now, I want to mention this. You're not looking for what kind of work he does and trying to judge him based on what he does for work. What you're looking for is character. So it's not the kind of job that someone has that's important, it's how they approach it. So is he the kind of man that gives his all wherever he's at and whatever his situation is? That's a great sign. Or does he approach work with a blah attitude? For instance, when I met my husband Mike, he was selling life insurance. Not the most interesting job in the world, but I asked him, do you love it? And I saw him light up. He told me all about his love of sales, and I could see how excited he was about his job. And I respected that, and I admired that, and I could see that he was absolutely giving his all to his job, and that definitely translated into our relationship, which formed after we were dating. So is one of your go-to questions on a date, what do you do for a living? If it is, leave a comment below and let me know. Now, here is the second question you want to ask on a first date, and again, it's a follow-up to a popular dating question, which is, are you close to your family? Most women ask about a guy's family in some way on a date, whether it's, are you close? Do you have family that lives near? But someone telling you, oh yes, my mom and dad live 10 miles away, my sister lives in Kentucky. It doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't give you any information other than facts. So what you really want to ask is, how do you think it impacted you? For example, if he says, I have 2 older sisters, follow up with, cool, how do you think it impacted you growing up with 2 older sisters? That way, you're getting him to go a little bit deeper and you're connecting emotionally. So when I asked this question to my husband Mike, I found out he had 2 older sisters who impacted him in a really big way because they were both powerful women, which is perfect match for me because I'm a very powerful woman. So I knew from asking that question and hearing his answer right away, he'd be able to handle and even love my power and not be scared of it. So asking this question can really give you a sense of a guy's inner world. So pay attention to what he says. And here's question number 3 to ask on a first date. First, you want to ask him, what do you like to do on the weekends, right? Common first date question. The reason is because what people spend their free time on really does show you what they value. But then you want to take it deeper and ask him this follow-up question based on what he says. So he's going to tell you what he loves to do on the weekend, and you're going to say, interesting. I would love to know about the best, fill in the blank with whatever he says, you've ever had, seen, or experienced. So for example, if he says, I love to go to the movies on the weekends. Interesting. I'd love to hear about the best movie you've ever seen. If he says, I love to go out to new restaurants on the weekends. Interesting. I'd love to hear about the best meal you've ever had. This is going to give you information on him, and it's going to serve another purpose. He's actually going to feel good on the date with you because he's talking about something that he loves. Don't believe me? Try this out with a girlfriend. Tell her about the best meal you've ever had, for instance, and notice how happy you feel just by sharing that story. So he's going to feel super happy sharing the best XYZ he's ever had, seen, or experienced, and he's going to associate that happy feeling with you, which will up your chances of a second date. So you've just learned the top 3 questions to ask on a first date. But you have to have a date in the first place to ask them. The cool thing is I can pretty much guarantee that I can get you a date within the next week if you follow my attraction tips. So I've included a link below to my free Raining Quality Men video where I teach you how to get a first date within a week. Click the description below to get the video now. And if you like this video, go ahead and like it here, leave me a comment, and subscribe so you never miss a video, which is every Friday. And do you have a go-to first date question that you absolutely love that I didn't mention here? If you do, I would love to know. Leave me a comment with it below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.